Hi, Jon. Congratulations on your new book. Now, in the book, you talk about your early childhood growing up in Cuba. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, from what I remember, I'm an only child. I was raised an only child. I have vague memories of in the 60s, my father was a political prisoner in the 60s in Cuba. I remember my mother and my parents trying to, after he got out of prison, to try to find a way to leave Cuba legally at that time, what they considered the legal process at that time. And that's what we were after for a long, long time. We tried to come to the States directly, but that was impossible at the moment, unless you had somebody to claim you in the States. So there were countries that were havens or that accepted Cuban refugees and immigrants, and Spain being one of them. And we chose Spain. And we went to Spain. We were there close to 2 years. Wonderful. The fact that the Spanish government really accepted all these Cuban refugees, and for us it was our first initial way out of Cuba and seeking our dreams.
Tell us a little bit about how you first got into singing.
I didn't get into singing until I was here in the States. I was already close to being 15 years old. So I knew that I could sing. I've always felt that I could sing, but I never did anything about it. I was a really shy kid, very introverted, all through my childhood, early teens. But in high school, I kind of got the courage to want to be a part of the high school music program and audition for a play that was going on at the time. And once I got into my system, the passion of music, there was no turning back for me. That was it. And decided to study music formally.
So after you moved to Miami, you met music mogul Emilio Estefan. Tell us about that first encounter with him.
My first meeting with Emilio was an amazing meeting, given that I knew, of course, what he was all about. Gloria was on the up and up as a recording artist. And I knew about him already because of guys in the band that were working with him that I went to college with, and so and I was kind of known locally for a little bit at the time already. So he was looking to represent new talent. It was the beginning process of his production company kind of growing and going to the next level. And he called me and he wanted to kind of, I guess, see where my head was at. And he was such a go-getter from the very first meeting. And I talk about that in detail of what that first meeting represented to me, because he was just somebody who had so much vision, so many, such a strong will, and so confident. And that's something that really just stuck to me. And I knew that at the same time, I had talked to a friend of mine that was in the band, and told him, listen, what should I expect from meeting with Emilio? And he told me, well, you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. At the same time, if that works out for you, so be it. And knowing that, can you get out of working with him what you think that you're going to be able to really make it work for your career? And I did. From that meeting, I knew that this guy had the confidence and the drive to make things happen for himself as an entrepreneur, and then for me as a recording artist and producer and songwriter.
So how did Gloria Estefan mentor you in the first years of your singing career?
Yeah, Gloria was like a big sister to me, and she always has been and was back then, and I guess in retrospect I appreciate that. Even though at the time I didn't like so much what she was trying to do, but I was in with a lot of growing pains, in light of what was happening in my career, my relationships, everything that was going on inside me that I wasn't realizing exactly what it is, all these feelings, and that I wasn't really prepared to tackle. But I was in the middle of a lot of things that were a part of my growing process as an artist. And she was seeing it, and she was already in the middle of it. So she kind of, from the sidelines, was keeping tabs and just wanted to make sure that my head was straight in her own way. and I appreciate that. I really do.
Thanks for talking to You Interview, and congratulations on your new book.
Thank you. My pleasure.